Hi, I'm so happy that you made the decision to join our modified fitness class. I wanted to throw together a little video for you so that you have a better understanding of some of the exercises when you arrive at class, so it won't be so overwhelming when you first get here. So I am going to just change up a few settings in here and we're going to start. I'm going to show you just a few of the exercises. I'll show you a couple of our cardio moves, and then I'm going to show you some strength training moves. So some of the common moves, these are not the only moves you're going to do in this room, but they are a big handful of the moves that we will do regularly in this class. As a reminder, this class can be done standing or seated, your preference. And so first move is a jumping jack. Now you can take it here, side jack. Okay, you can take it to a full jack if you wish. You can also do this seated, right here, or full, right here. Okay, move number one. Move number two, another move that we do popular in this class is a side hip dip. We stand, balance. You can also use the wall if you need it, and we dip on one side of our body like this, and if you can, we go for balance. We are always working on our balance in this room as well as everything else. And then that move seated is right here. And you'll see a few variations of that move. A very popular move that we do is called the Charleston. It's a bit of a dance move. And I'm going to show you this. I'm just going to switch up that angle a little bit. And so the foot pattern for the Charleston is just one step and then a tap, step, and then back. Step, tap, step, back. Now, if you can, you're going to add a kick and a lunge back. Kick up, lunge back. Now, seated, some of our seated moves, we do completely different, just given the nature that we're in a chair. So for the Charleston, I like to do one leg up, one leg out, one leg up and out, and then we would switch sides in class. All right, runner's arms. I'm going to do this one seated since I'm already here. It is basically we pump those arms, and I like to pivot our body a little bit forward and back. Standing, of course, is here, and we just lean into it. We then switch our lead leg each time. Okay, after 20 seconds, we switch lead leg. Skaters, so that's stepping from one side to the other. Now, some people like to add a little hop. I also encourage you to go for distance here. So see how much room you can travel in your gym. Just because this is modified doesn't mean we don't push ourselves a little bit. Now, a seated skater, it looks a little different, and that's fair. I have to share with you that in this class, some of the moves are going to be a bit different seated. But you know what? You're going to keep coming and you're going to keep doing these moves. And I also want to say this, and you'll hear me say this in class, sometimes the seated version is more challenging than the standing version. Hear me out. So skater is just a pivot on one side of the chair and we go to the other and we add some arm moves where we can. Okay? And then our final move, I'm going to show you seated. It's called a kick over. We find an object and we keep it in front of us and we kick over with one leg and then the other leg. This way and that way. Now this move in particular, if you're doing it standing, I like to use the back of my chair and then I'm going to add a couple steps. So I take a kick, then step, step, other leg up, step, step, and then here. I kind of mess that up. So it's a kick, step, step, kick, just to give you that extra little oomph. All right, those are just a few of the cardio moves. I'm going to move into some strength moves next. Squats, you guys. Squats, I'm going to just chat with you for a minute about squats. I'm going to show you, there's many styles. I'm going to show you a couple of the basic squats that we do in this room. Number one thing here is if you're here and doing squats sounds overwhelming to do them standing, freestanding, I have to encourage you that if you arrived here and you can get up out of your chair, that you do this movement. Now, if you can do this movement and hold some weights, I love a crossbody hold with my weights where I stand up and I sit down, or I like holding them at the shoulder, stand up and sit down, as opposed to hanging beside me, only because I feel like there's a greater chance I'm going to clunk my hand and my knuckles with the weight. Okay, so then you could go up and down with the weights as well. I prefer just a body loaded weight. Okay, now I'm going to show you squats on the ground. So I'm going to show you what squats look like if you're standing. Now, I'll show you with these weights that I have, and I'll just show you. Okay, so there's what's called a suitcase squat. It's your standard squat up and down. You could do a shoulder loaded squat, and sometimes we do a squat thruster where we squat and press the weight overhead. That's another move. And then we all, a lot of the time, do what's called a goblet squat. And we're here, holding the weights here. You might hear a sumo squat. That means your legs are gonna be wider and you might hold your weights here, or you might still hold them here, but that stance is widened out. If you are someone who has ankle, knee, or hip mobility issues, you might like elevating your heels. So for that, I grab a couple of little weights. I have these flat 5-pounders that just go on the ground. My heels are gonna go on here. It elevates my heels. It makes it easier. So I'm gonna pick up my weights, elevate my heels, and then begin. That elevation makes it a lot easier to go up and down. All right, so that's squats. I'm gonna just leave those weights where they are. The next exercise is a leg extension. For that one, we're only gonna use one weight. I'll show you it seated, and then I'm gonna show you it standing. Seated, you're gonna rest that leg weight on your knee. Don't let it dig into your knee. I'm holding it slightly, but I want the weight there. I want the resistance there. I'm gonna lift up and extend out. Okay? Now that same exercise standing, you could work on your balance and out and in, out and in. If you're like, no way, Jose, I'm not doing it, hold on to the wall and out, in, okay? Options, always options in this room. All right, the next exercise I'm going to show you. It's called an RDL, Romanian deadlift. This is one I'm going to take a little extra time on here because I want to make sure you get it. When you get this exercise right, you will feel it in your bum and hamstrings. If you do not get it in your bum and hamstrings and you get it in your back, we're going to run into some trouble, and I don't want that for you. This is a great exercise when done correctly. So I'm going to pick up my weights, and then I'm going to talk you through, and I'm going to show you this move seated as well. But first off, I'm going to show you it standing. I'm just going to move this out of my way, and I'm going to pick up my weights. I'm actually going to turn this way as the light coming in as hard on my eyes. Okay, so I'm showing you from the side. I'm going to show you on a bit of an angle here. So first things first, you pick up your weights. You then get your chest proud, meaning your shoulder blades are slightly pulled back. We don't want your shoulders rounded. We want them back here. From here, you're going to hold your weights kind of in front of your thighs. They're not always going to be there. Sometimes there's going to be a different move called, but I'm showing you your regular RDL. From here, your knuckles are touching your thighs. You're going to have a soft knee. So my knees are not locked. They're soft. And from here, I'm going to tip at the waist. My waist is going back. My bum is pushing back. Now, I'm going till my knuckles are about mid-shin, and then I come back up. When I hinge and I'm bent over, this is kind of funny, but if you could think of your rear end needs to be completely facing the back wall. And then back up. I'm going to show you the wrong way without weights in my hands because I don't even want to injure myself. So the wrong way would be holding the weights, going down, rounding out, and my arms traveling way far away from my body. I don't want that. I want my hands close all the way through. When I'm close like that, I am going to feel that in my hamstrings and my rear end. If my hands get out in front of me, that's when I'm going to feel it in my lower back. Also, I don't want to round. I don't want to come down here and look at my crotch. I want to come down and look about 2 feet in front of me. And I'm not cranking my head. It's in what's called neutral. So when I go down, Did you hear how many steps there are to this move? There's a lot. I want you to get it right. So again, pick up your weights. Go with me. Shoulders back. I'm going to show you side profile. Shoulders back. Chest is what I call proud. Hinging. Bum goes back. Head is in neutral. Weights go to mid shin, and then you come back up. You're going down to about mid shin. Now I say mid shin. If you're a little lower, that's going to be okay, but you don't need to kiss the ground, okay? So you're here and back up. Please get that exercise correctly. I'm going to show you that same exercise seated. I'm going to put this on an angle so you can see it better. Normally I would go a little heavier, but for the fact that I'm just doing a tutorial, I'm going to stick with a lighter weight. Now, I start here, chest is proud, legs are wide. I'm holding this weight. See how straight my arms are? They're just holding the weight. And I'm going to tip at the waist, and my head is in neutral. My back is flat. My bum is back, facing the back wall. And then I come up as though I'm snapping my bum into the chair. I'm going forward, and I'm coming up. Exact same movement, you guys, but seated. You should not feel that in your back. Now, let me just say this. As you're lifting, you have assisting muscles working all over the place that are going to help you. So you might feel it sometimes in other areas. But I'm talking about that muscle workout, that feeling you get. When I say you should feel it in your bum and hamstrings, that's where you want to feel it, not pulling on your lower back, okay? So here we go, down and up. And you've got to use that visualization as well. You'll hear me talk about that lots in this class, using your mind as we lift. You need to come here and be intentional. You can't just come here and fart around and expect change. I want you to come here and be focused for the time that we're here. You will feel so much better about your time spent here when you are engaged with your workout. Okay, a couple more that I want to show you. There's an exercise called a pull press. Now, for that one, we're going to use one dumbbell. So I'm going to just move these guys out of my way. We're going to pick up one dumbbell. It's a pull and a press. So it starts up high. It's a balance move. We're going to pull in and then press. Pull, press. Pretty basic. You can hold the wall if you need it. You can also do this one seated, and it's here, and it's a pull in, press. Pull, press. Okay? Another great move. All right, the last two that I want to show you. Now, these are not the only exercises you're going to do, but these are the ones where I feel need a little more correction, okay? So the next two I'm going to show you, sometimes they get mixed up because they're in this similar position, similar body position. The first exercise is called a dumbbell row. For that, you're going to get into that same beginning stance as the RDL. But from there, you're going to hinge, your arms are going to hang, and you're going to row these weights in and down. In, let me show you side profile. So I'm standing up, I'm turning, I'm here. Now, notice legs have a bend, soft bend. I'm not bent, I'm not squatting, but there's more than a soft bend. They're here. I am supported in my heels. My core is engaged. My head is in neutral. Row down. Okay, now you got that one. If you wanted to do that one seated, you're going to sit here. You're going to hold your weights firmly. You're going to hinge and row. And row. Okay. Now, the final exercise I want to show you for this video is a tricep kickback. And this exercise is going to be in a similar stance. I'm going to start with it seated. I'm going to show you this move, but for this one, I'm going to show you on this angle so you can see what's happening. So I'm going to pick up my weights. I'm going to hinge my body forward. I'm going to now, my arms start here, but I'm going to pull them up. They're going to tuck here. They're going to extend and in, out and in. Okay? That same move standing. I'm going to remove my seat. And same thing, I'm going to get into that stance. I'm going to pull up my arms out and in, out and in. All right, you guys, I wanted to share a few of the moves that are going to be used in this class. These are just a handful. You're going to learn so much more when you're here. IQ safety. I come with enthusiasm and education every single time. And I urge you to get yourself here. When you are here and once you get in the zone, there's something really special that takes place in here. This is more than just a workout. This is an experience. And every time you come, you will feel, I hope, my energy through this screen to help you reach your health and wellness goals. All right, I got to turn this off. It's always awkward at the end because I don't have a camera crew, but we'll see you at gym. Well, we'll see you in the Zoom room.